Good morning from the Finlandia Village Fitness Center and welcome to PhysioJo Info Talk number 1. So today we're going to talk about a magic word. I say it's magic because I get the same response from people no matter who I'm talking to and in what circumstance that is. And that word is posture. So whether I'm walking with people, doing exercises, or teaching an orientation class, when I say the word posture, people straighten up right away. So we all know that it's important to have good posture. If you know me, I'm a physio. I'm going to be bugging you all the time. If I see someone who doesn't have good posture, I'm going to point it out. I'm going to help them correct themselves, and usually I explain why. That's just me. So when we talk posture, it can be there's a lot of information if you think the entire body from head right down to toes. So we're going to split it up in 2 different segments. Today we're going to talk about upper body, and in the next session we're going to talk about the lower body, because I don't want to bombard you with too much information. I want you to remember these tips and practice some of this stuff, and then next session, whenever you decide to check out the lower body postural talk, then you can implement those things at that point, we'll say. Alrighty, so talking upper body, what's the most common postural issues that we see? Well, I'm sure you guys all know this answer. You have your head forward and your shoulders forward. Very, very common, especially if you're sitting for a long time. So anybody who's sitting at a desk, working on a computer, in the office or at home, sitting on the couch, reading a book, playing on the laptop or on iPad, tablet, whatever electronic device, you are prone to develop this forward head and rounded shoulder posture. I'm going to say this now and I'm going to mention it again in the next postural video. Our bodies were not designed to sit still or to sit for a long period of time. We're meant to move. And I've preached this many times. If you know me, I've preached keep moving all the time. So if you're sitting for a long period of time, your body doesn't like it. It's going to start to give you signs. Pain, aches, muscle spasms, knots in your muscle. Those are all signs that your body's giving you to move and get out of that position. Because if you stay there, then it's just going to escalate and you're not going to like what happens at the end. So I encourage everybody to get up at least once per hour to move around. So if you're watching TV, every time a new show comes on, if it's half hour or hour, get up, move around, go to the bathroom, do some gentle exercises, just walk from one end of the room to the other, anything, keep moving. Same thing if you're reading a book or doing something on electronics, use a timer if you have to, and get up and move. That's my speech for today. Now, going back to posture, head forward, shoulders forward. Typically that happens mostly when we're sitting, but it could happen when you're standing as well. I want to explain to you why this can become an issue in not just how you look, but how you feel. If your head, so proper positioning, I'll explain in a bit how you get into the most ideal position posture-wise, but talking about the bad posture that we just discussed and what it will do to you, it's best if you feel it for yourself. So I want you to stand up, and like me, I want you to exaggerate this posture of the head being forward and the shoulders being forward. It's connected. A lot of muscles go from the neck to the shoulder, to the chest, to the upper back. So if your head comes forward, eventually your shoulders are going to do the same thing. So head and shoulders forward, oftentimes they go hand in hand. From this position here, I want you to look up towards the ceiling. So from here, I'm looking up. That's it. I can't go any higher than that because I can feel the bones hitting each other in the back. I just physically can't go any further. Now, if I do the same thing in this forward position and try to lift my arm up, this is it. I cannot go any higher than that with my arm. So now remember what your limitations are in those positions. Now, when I say I want good posture, correct your posture, stand tall, I want you to imagine that you are a marionette. So when you pull in the strings of a marionette, it straightens up. It goes from being collapsed to straightening up and standing tall. You are going to do the same thing. Pretend you have a string attached to the back of your head and you're going to pull it up towards the ceiling. So when you go from this position to pulling that string up towards the ceiling, it's going to help you realign your upper body. It'll help realign the lower body too, but we'll talk about that another time. So your head and your shoulders come back into that position that they should be in, and it allows your skull and everything, all your vertebrae to sit the way they should in better alignment. Now, I can tell you, I want you to be in that position all the time. Every time you think about it, correct yourself, put yourself in that marionette pose, nice and straight. Now, I've done that, and I've had people say, yeah, well, I do it. I fix my posture, but then within minutes, I'm right back down to slouching the way I was before. Why is that? Well, it's a combination of tightness of the muscles in the front from being in this position for very long, and lack of endurance or strength of the muscles in the back, upper back, shoulder blade area that are designed to hold your shoulders back. Now, in getting this talk ready, I realized it would take a really long time to throw a lot of exercises in this video along with the talk and the education I want to give you. So Allison, McKinn, and myself are going to put together a postural exercise program. So all of the muscles that you need to work on, whether it's flexibility or strengthening of muscles that we know will affect your posture, we'll put all that in a program. It'll be on this YouTube channel, so you'll be able to go access those exercises, even if you do it once or twice a week, just to wake up those postural exercises and give you that reminder that this is something you need to work on a daily basis. You'll have that there. That will come in the near future. So going back to your marionette pose, you straightened yourself out. So remember a while ago when we had our head and shoulders forward, your head couldn't go any higher than that. Your shoulders could not lift any higher, or your arm couldn't lift any higher than that. Now, from here, exaggerate that bad posture. I want you to do your marionette pose. So pull that string up, make yourself nice and tall. Now, from this position, I want you to look up towards the ceiling. So I'm hoping that, like me, you will be able to go quite a bit further back and really look up to the ceiling, and even a bit that way, because you're allowing all the vertebrae in your neck to move without banging into each other. So you're realigning your spine before you even anticipate or go into those movements, those positions. So one vertebrae will kind of overlap the other one, but clearing it. When you're like this, you can't clear. The bones are jamming one against the other. Let's do the same thing with the shoulder. So your shoulders are forward, you lift your arm up, boom, you're stuck right there. Marionette pose, coming nice and tall. When I lift my arm up, I can go all the way back here. I've gained quite a bit of range just by bringing my shoulder back in its proper position. Reason why, same thing as the neck, our body is designed to move a certain way. If you have proper range of motion, or ideal range of motion, the functional range of motion is when your joints are able to go as far as they're designed to go. Now, there's a lot of things that are going to affect that, and muscles being the main one. So a muscle that's tight or a muscle that's weak will limit how far you can go, along with a bunch of other things like arthritis and other stuff. We're not going to get into those details here. But know that for the shoulder, if your shoulder is not properly aligned, if the head of the humerus, that's the bone of your arm, is not sitting in the scapula, the shoulder blade, at the right spot, when you go to lift your arm up, you're going to have pinching. The bones, they kind of get stuck. One bone can't clear the other one because you're decreasing the space and the amount of space and movement that's allowed within that joint before you even start moving. So you're going to be decreasing your ability to get full range by being in this position here. So why is good posture good for us? One, because not just because your mama told you so when you were younger, but you're going to feel better. When you are standing tall, not only are you able to perform activities more efficiently, you allow your digestive system to work a little bit better. But just talking neck and shoulder, you're going to be able to use your neck and use your shoulder in more pain-free ranges, in ways that you're not going to be limited. And with those limitations, if you keep pushing that, you're going to start to have some pain. You're going to start to irritate some muscles, and some tendonitis and other issues can come eventually with time. So here's a tip for you. Whenever you're doing some everyday activities, washing windows, cleaning, dusting, shoveling, anything, hopefully we won't have to shovel or do snowblower much anymore, but any kind of physical activity you need to do, if you're noticing any aches or pains in your neck or in your shoulder while you're doing that, I want you to stop. Reposition yourself by doing the marionette pose, and then get closer to what you're working on and try again. I'll give you the example of washing windows. I have a really bad shoulder because I was too hard on it when I was a kid. As a teenager, I really damaged my shoulder with volleyball and baseball, both overhead activities, and now I'm suffering for it later on in life. So if I don't have good posture and I feel pain in my shoulder, I'm irritating it every time, and I'm going to feel it for a couple of days. My example is this. I was washing windows one day, leaning over the couch and washing the windows. So I was really stretched forward, and I was in this position. My shoulder was burning. It was screaming at me, telling me to stop because it was just too much. So the physio in me said, okay, why are you bugging me now when you weren't bothering me a while ago when I was doing my hair? Then it dawned on me, your posture is terrible. So I did my marionette pose, corrected my position, got closer to the window, not reaching over the couch. And when I did it, I had no pain at all. So understanding the biomechanics, like the way the joints are moving, the way muscles and bones work together to produce movement, allowed me to understand that. So if anybody wants more details about that, how it works, and wants more of the nitty gritty, let me know. And obviously I like to talk, so I will explain it to you. I can show pictures and diagrams. I got lots of books. I'm trying to keep things simple so it's easy to understand and easy for you to apply in your everyday life. So those are my tips for today. Actually, I have one more tip. This muscle here, the trapezius, the upper fibers of the trapezius muscle, is one of those muscles that people who have this type of posture really complain about. So it's a muscle that gets achy, gets sore. People say, I have knots in my muscle, and it feels hard like a rock. That muscle there will definitely be overused and irritated if your head is in this position here. A quick fix to easily settle down the tension that builds up in that muscle is to let your head rest back against something. So if you're sitting at a desk and you're going to be there for a while, make sure you have a high back chair so you can rest your head right back against that chair. That'll help shut off that muscle. If you don't have a high back chair, then take your chair and push it up against the wall and lean your head back against the wall. If you're sitting, if you have a lazy boy at home, take advantage of the fact that it comes back here. Lean your head back. You're reading a book, lean your head back against your chair and prop your book up on some pillows so that you can keep your good head posture while you're reading. That muscle, you want to shut it off when you're sitting. It's going to be on when you're standing and walking around because it helps to keep your head up. But when you're sitting down, if you can put yourself in a position where it's resting, you're going to decrease that tone that's going to set in and that achiness in that muscle. Another nice tip that I've been doing ever since I learned it, which was many, many years ago, is when you're driving. So a lot of people build up tension in their necks, period, especially when we're driving. The headrests that we have in our vehicles, they were designed to help reduce the amount of damage that happens to our neck if you're ever involved in a whiplash. So it prevents your head from coming back too fast, too far after you get rear-ended. I love to say that they are actually designed for us physios to use them with our patients as ways to relax the tension in that upper trapezius muscle. So when you're driving, or if you're especially if you're a passenger in the car, because then you don't have to be so attentive to what's going on around you. But if your seat is close enough to the steering wheel that you still have full view of the windows and the mirrors, everything, and you're comfortable driving there with your seat in the most upright position and your head leaning back against the headrest, you will reduce a lot of strain that could potentially be in your neck. Most people that have pre-existing neck pain, when I give them that tip, they notice a big difference just by doing that. So whether you have neck pain or not, it will be a good habit to get into because it allows you to put your head and neck in a nice, and your shoulders in a comfortable, good position posturally without having to hold yourself in that position, which is what happens when we're standing. It's always harder when we're standing because we have to hold ourselves there. We'll deal with those muscles in a little bit. For now, take advantage of a headrest, a pillow, things like that to help you out. That's all I can think of for now about the posture for your upper body. And stay tuned for this next session, number 2. We'll be talking about posture and the lower extremity. From the fitness center at Finlandia. See you later. Have a great day. Stay safe. Wash your hands.